be very careful of picking up all this advice and stuff from a system that you have yet to really understand. I want to make a video to the college student watching Terabify and some of the lessons that I wish I had learned a little bit earlier in college. First and foremost, it's the younger years, it's the teen years. Really, enjoyment and discipline are going to always be at odds. And I have always been a creative person. I have always painted and created music and created organizations. So for me, the actual enjoyment is a big part of learning what it is to be alive. My recommendation is always try to deepen your philosophy on what it means to be you in this world. Like what is it that you really contribute to in your friend groups, in your organizations, in your school, in your family, whatever it is. Really niching down and getting specific about what it is that is uniquely us is one of the major things that we should be trying to achieve in any sort of isolated education. I think a lot of people in their teens, me included, I didn't have that appreciation for the things that innately came to me, and I didn't spend enough time really to think about how to leverage that to create more opportunities for other people. And I spent a lot of time alone, and I spent a lot of time inebriated. I spent a lot of time wishing that I had certain experiences, sexual experiences, whatever it was. But looking back, every step of the way I've always had love for myself. I've had love for who I was in last year, the year before that. I had love for, and I still do have love for, the truths that were available for me to actually rationalize what I was doing. In other words, if we don't know what we don't know, how can we expect to be and act differently? Right? It's a constant kind of process of figuring out relevant information and applying it. The other thing I would say for young people in university, in standardized education, anywhere from basically 18 to about 26, is realize that you're in a bubble currently, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Having so many people around that are our age at that stage in life is essential for actually building our ability to communicate with people. And so one of my biggest pieces of advice for communication is always listening. To be able to sit down and listen to people and listen to what they go through. That's kind of like the stage one philosopher, having conversations for the sake of having conversations. In terms of leveraging the connections that we have and actually making useful connections out of them, we really need to realize that this life is a continuum, and that every single person that we're interacting with at that stage of life is like a sapling, is something that, or a kind of like an amorphous soul, something that doesn't necessarily have all the purpose in the world. But if we're able to niche out the things that we're specifically really good at, chances are we can niche out things that other people are really good at by asking the right questions. And when we figure that out, it's going to make a lot more sense as to why people are going into certain fields. It's going to make a lot more sense as to how their philosophy should be affecting ours. The other piece of advice I would give is really try to go out of your way to experience new things, like travel. travel. If you have a chance to go abroad, I would argue that that experience is going to be so much more formative than staying in school and putting your head down, nose to the grindstone. Because a change in environment really does teach us a lot about our value, and it teaches us a lot about what we actually enjoy getting out of life. So I say to you, as someone that mentors a lot of college students and actively is pursuing ways to give students access to great mentors and a more clear philosophy in life, that it's going to take time. It really is going to take time to develop who you are. Just try to enjoy the process as much as possible. Try to give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Try to come to terms with all the little things that you're doing that perhaps you're not pleased with. And try to realize that every success that you get in terms of augmenting yourself into becoming closer to that person that you ideally want to be, every step towards that should be counted as a victory. And there's no better way to do that than to be at one with the experiences that are granted, while consistently creating more opportunities to have the experiences that did not exist for you in the past. Best way to do this is get into leadership positions, get into organizations that are professional organizations while you're in school. Hang out with people that are older than you. The perspective that they'll give will be worth the difficulty of getting a situation set up. Maturity in general is incredibly valuable in society, and maturity is built by knowledge of self through engaging with others and through engaging with opportunities. The last thing I'll say for college students, for graduate students in general, is be very careful of picking up all of this advice and stuff from a system that you have yet to really understand. And I say this because this happens a lot. People work in a situation and not work on the situation. And school is really a bubble. And the professors that are teaching you and holding you to certain standards, the best of them will be teaching you moral lessons. They will be teaching you how to go about living life and how to incorporate this information into life in a broader way. The worst of them will make you feel bad about reaching out and trying new things. So just be very keen on understanding who it is that you are listening to, who are you taking advice from. Has that person accomplished the things in their personal, professional, financial life that you want to accomplish, to be taking advice from them? As I try to give advice to you. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll know what I'm accomplishing so far and what I have accomplished so far. But despite that, there's a quote that you can learn from a broken wall. Right? There might be graffiti on it, there might be a handprint on it, there might be a specific type of brick in the wall. You cannot learn only from your own mistakes. Learn from the mistakes of others so you don't have to make so many yourself. And that includes your friends, that includes the professors. Try to find mentors. Even if you're just localized inside of the school system, there are phenomenal resources available to you. It's just a matter of opening up your eyes, getting a little bit more disciplined, and actually showing up. 80% is showing up. So hopefully this helps you. If it did, drop me a like or a comment on anything else that you have questions about in school. The Terabify network is available to anyone that's in university or anyone that wants to be a mentor for students. It's my kind of legacy for improving education in the United States and around the world. So if you want to get involved with that, again, shoot me a comment or find me on any of the social media channels and shoot me a DM. I'll send you a Google form, and regardless of where you're at in the world, I'm more than willing to offer some really interesting opportunities and some hopefully really impactful advice on your specific situation. It makes a big difference. Actualize your potential. Catalyst, this world needs you. Take care of yourself.